Hi, I'm Brandie and I want to talk to you about poverty, city infrastructure, and corporate opportunities. Did you know there are 45 million Americans, as of last year, who are at or below the poverty line? That's 14.5% of Americans, according to the Census Bureau. That's a really sad number. I want to give you a number of my own, 7.25. Raise your hand if you know what that number means. $7.25 is the federal minimum wage. That's how much you make an hour, guaranteed, no matter where you work. At $7.25 an hour for 40 hours a week, you get $290 before taxes. Your take-home pay per year is $13,926 and some odd cents. And that's on the rich end of the scale, assuming you have a full-time job, which most people don't. The thing about being poverty level is that you're lucky if you get 30 hours a week. You're lucky if you can do that in one job. Job insecurity is one of the biggest issues facing poverty level Americans these days. And it is caused by a number of factors, including available childcare, inconsistent job scheduling, and lack of reliable transportation. That brings us into city infrastructure. Because for the past 50 years, America's infrastructure has pretty much been crumbling. Not since the New Deal in the 1940s has any concerted effort been made to create new roads and new bridges and to completely overhaul the ones that we've had. There have been small projects here and there, but they've been suffering from lack of federal funds because most states' budgets actually include the federal highway funds in their budgets for road repair. The problem with this was when the housing crisis hit and the recession hit and Congress decided they didn't know how to decide on a budget, something called the sequester kicked in. And it pretty much cut the budget all across the board. Hardly anybody got any money. And all those major projects that were in the works pretty much got put on hold. So, all of a sudden, people who were depending on those road repairs and those bridges repairs, and the cities who were using those federal funds for public transportation, they got let down. Public transportation started getting cut back. Bus routes started getting cut. New subway lines stopped being built, things like that. And suddenly you have a vicious circle where people who relied on public transportation can't get into work. And if they can't get into work, they can't keep their job. And if they can't keep their job, they can't pay their taxes. If they can't pay their taxes, the city budgets go down even further. And then you have corporations coming into cities demanding tax breaks to move their headquarters to the city because they promised to bring new jobs, which has always been a bit of a catch-22. You have a lot of people, and recently a lot of governments who have been pushing back on that because that's not enough for the promise of the tax breaks. But here's where the opportunity comes in. Because out in San Francisco, there's a thing called Google Buses. Google and a number of other tech companies have bought an entire private fleet of buses which they are using to bus their employees from home to work and from work to home. No longer can their employees claim, my car broke down, to avoid going into the office because they have free transportation. And the tech companies pay the city of San Francisco a fee of $3 and some odd cents per person, per stop, as of February 2016, as a matter of fact. It was recently agreed between the city and the companies that they would do this. Not only that, but LinkedIn works with a company called RidePal, which is a lot like Uber or Lyft, in that it's cars used to transport the employees from home to work and work to home. The difference being is people, non-tech workers, public people, can get on the RidePal website and buy tickets to ride. So, here's my thought. Corporations come into cities and they offer to help the cities rebuild their city infrastructure. They invest in public transportation, whether it's bus rapid transit or light rail transit, whatever you want. You find out what works for the city that you're locating in. You offer to invest in that public transportation for your tax breaks. Not only are you bringing jobs to the city as part of your move, but you're bringing jobs to the city as far as the construction goes. Then, when everything's built out, not only can your employees use the public transport to get into work and no longer have the excuse, my car broke down, but everybody can get to work. You have people at poverty level who are currently only working jobs near their house because they can bus or they can walk or they can bike to those jobs. Now they can apply for jobs all the way across the city because they have reliable transportation to get there. Your pool of applicants has suddenly become more diversified because instead of just getting this population to apply for jobs, you're getting people out here. Smart people, clever people who can't otherwise get to work without transportation. And you're getting cars off the road, and by getting cars off the road, you're improving air quality because you're cutting down on pollution, and your customers are aware of the investment you've made in their community and in green standards, and they're suddenly becoming more loyal. Your employees are becoming more loyal. It's a win-win situation. Google has already started the bus, literally. So why aren't you?